So with situations that come up out of your control, like you said, I always look for the lesson. And that's what I was asking myself in the situation that has arisen for me. What is meant for me to learn? Where is the lesson? What am I meant to learn? And I would just ask myself that, what am I meant to learn from the situation until I found my lesson?
Hello and welcome to the Elevate podcast. I'm your host, Patricia Nowakowski. I'm a salon owner, educator, mindset, and leadership coach that helps salon owners go from overwhelmed and burnt out to motivated and empowered. It is my mission to help you systemize your business, generate more profit, and create a career that you love. Join us every week to learn about the small shifts you can make to elevate your business regarding mindset, marketing, social media, business systems, and so much more. Welcome to the Elevate podcast. We're here with Sheli Dodaro Hernandez. Sheli's been on the podcast before, and today we're going to talk about things that we do to stay mentally strong while running our business. Having a business is definitely something that creates a lot of anxiety, stress. It's definitely mentally trying on your day-to-day because there are so many ups and downs. And as a business owner, especially a salon owner, you are literally the CEO of problem solving. And I think when people open a business, they only see the beautiful things that other business owners post online, and they never see what the other people are struggling through or going through while running their business. So today we're going to talk about some things that we do and things that you can start doing in order to sort of create this mental strength to help you regain that beautiful desire you had when you first opened your business, and to kind of push you through to be more proactive while going through the difficult times in your business. So Sheli, do you want to reintroduce yourself, even though you've been on the podcast before?
Yes. Hello, everyone. My name is Sheli Dodaro Hernandez. I am a commission salon owner in the south suburbs of Chicago, and I am also a coach for Destroy the Hairdresser. And Patricia, I think I know when I was on your podcast last time, I said we should have something called like not sexy in the salon world. This is definitely not sexy in the salon world challenges. And I do feel that challenges are definitely unique to each individual. Someone's perception of a challenge might not be someone else's challenge.
I feel like challenges kind of are on different levels. At Destroy the Hairdresser, we talk about capacity for success and growing your vessel. So when we're growing our vessel, we go through these struggles. Every single time we work through a struggle and we actually conquer that struggle, it grows our capacity for success. So a struggle that we experienced 5 years ago when we first opened our businesses, or when we first, started this journey in this industry, those struggles are no longer a big deal to us because we've already experienced it and already conquered it, right? So every single struggle that you go through, is going to hit you in a different way or at a different impact than struggles you've previously gone through. Like, for example, like messing up someone's hair. Like the first time you mess up somebody's hair, like the first time is like devastating and a catastrophe, right? Now, after doing hair for 20 years, when we mess up somebody's hair, we're not freaking out. We're just like, how can I fix this? Like, I've been through this before. Like, I know I have the capacity to change the situation. So how can I fix it? And it's the same things with things in business.
I completely agree. And when we mess up someone's hair now, 20 years later, and it's usually just a little smidgen tone, right? Off tone. We're not leaving bleeders or, chopping somebody's hair off with that's uneven on one side to the next. So also our challenges and mistakes that we make, our learning experiences are different than the learning experiences that we did when we first started our businesses.
So I think one of the things that really helps us kind of stay consistent and push through the struggles that we have in our business is that, one, we don't sit and wallow and have a pity party in the struggle moment, right? I think we move on. We don't waste time feeling sorry for ourselves, and we don't waste time feeling like a victim. I feel like so many salon owners feel like and act like they're a victim of their business. And they think that all of these things are happening to them, and they release control and power of the outcome and release control and power of their business.
I completely agree with you. And when we talk about challenges in our business, it's business. Business is business. And once you separate that emotion and use emotional intelligence to know like this is not emotion. This is it's something that is happening. I need to think strategically and then I need to problem solve. This is not an emotional experience. When I hear people say that when you say that, like they're a victim of their business, they're still a hairstylist to me. They haven't
Mhm.
stepped into the complete ownership role and taken on the responsibility of being a salon owner and a leader.
Mhm. I agree with that. For me, one of the things that I do to help me move on and not get stuck in the problem and go into a mental spiral is personal responsibility. Personal responsibility has been such a game changer for me because it gives you back the power and control of your business. Because if you created the outcome, then you have the power to change the outcome. So for me, I feel my feelings. Like there was a moment, I want to say like 6 months ago, where I lost a lot of renters in my salon suites, and I also lost a lot of stylists. And that was such a painful moment for me. It was hard not to take that personally. It was hard not to be completely reactive and live in fear, because that was a huge financial loss for me, obviously. And I allowed myself to feel the feelings. I allowed myself to go through the process. I allowed myself to beat myself up, feel like I was the victim. I allowed myself to feel the feelings of rejection. And then after I pushed through those feelings, then I took action. And my action was, why did these people choose to leave? What can I do better in order to make sure that people want to stay in my business? What didn't I do that might have caused these people to leave? What did I do to cause these people to leave? Granted, each one of those people had a valid reason for wanting to go. Like, one person was opening a salon suite in a different, location. Another person wanted to work at your salon, right? That he was working at both of our salons. But still, it allowed me to have some self-reflection, and it allowed me to really practice self-awareness, and it allowed me to revamp what I'm doing in my salon suites. I did research. How can I create a better experience? It allowed me to become a better leader inside of my salon. So then after going through that process, I felt really powerful, right? Because I took back control and I was actually taking proactive action. And I got 4 stylists back. I rented out the suites. Everything turned out fine, which is another thing that I think is really important to understand when you have to move on, is everything is temporary. Nothing is permanent,
Yes,
right? Nothing is
yes,
permanent. Everything changes as long as you don't let it crumble to the ground. You have to take that
yes,
action to, push forward and to create that result that you want. But nothing is permanent.
yes. And what I see in that story that I see that really resonates with me is that you went through a process. You didn't try to push through feelings to get to, an end result. You let yourself feel the feelings. You then said, okay, I felt the feelings. Now, how am I going to move forward in a proactive way to get the results that I want? And when you skip steps, then you usually have to repeat and relearn a lesson. You did not skip the steps. You went through the process and you're better for it.
You recently lost 2 of your top earners too, which put you through a process too, to
Put me through a
rethink your business,
process
to
too.
rethink your business.
Absolutely.
Do you want to
So,
touch base on that, like, and how
sure.
you ended up changing your business to make sure that your business was secure and solid so it doesn't happen again?
At the beginning of the year, I did have 2 stylists that decided to move on and start their own business, which I think is a beautiful process. And they wanted, they wanted something for themselves. And I am very excited and I was very happy for them, and they're doing well and they're killing it. But for myself, what I learned in the process was when I reflect back on my relationship with them, is that I was making accommodations for them and their feelings. And I was not doing what was best for my business to keep my business healthy. So everyone is going to do what's best for themselves. And what was best for my business was to keep hiring employees and filling my station and the availability of the stations that I had, and not allowing, stylists that might be uncomfortable station sharing, not sharing a station. So at the time, I had five stations. I believe I had five stations, and each stylist had their own station. So when two people left, it was almost half of my salon and, almost a third of my salon's revenue. So then I had to, put my big girl pants on and go rally and find stylists to, build my team again. But in the process, I also learned so much about building a team and building the right team for me and the type of people that I want to work in my business. So I'm grateful for that experience. I'm grateful that they left. I'm happy. They're happy. I'm more happy. I know that they're extremely happy. And it was a beautiful thing for us both.
That's the thing, it's like we see these things as sometimes, we can see these things as detrimental or, horrible. But in reality, it goes through this process where it becomes a moment of growth and a moment that we actually rebuild our business and make it something better. And I think that's what every challenge is. It's a way to create, rebuild, and improve and refine.
I love that.
Another thing I feel like a way to be mentally strong is to be able to embrace change. And of course, a lot of people run their business on a fear and ego. And the one thing that the ego hates is change, right? We get comfortable, we get stuck in our comfort zone, and we want everything to stay the same because we know what to expect. And in reality, in business, things change, like you just shared with your story, in a drop of a hat, right? It can change in a moment. So being able to embrace change, understanding that change is going to happen, and just being ready to critically think and pivot, I think is so important. Also, I think a lot of salon owners get stuck doing the same thing in their business, thinking that they're going to get a different result. They get stuck on the way they market. They get stuck on the way they were doing their social media, but they're not getting the results that they want, but then they don't want to change what they're doing. And in reality, you and I are really good at this. We test. We try something, we test it.
Yes.
If it doesn't work, we move on to the next thing. And that
Yes.
can be really frustrating for, I think, the stylists in our salon because they always feel like we're changing things. But the reason why we're changing things is because we're not getting the result that we want, and the thing that we're doing isn't working. So touch base on how you actually do your research and how you track things, because you look at numbers, you look at all of the facts, and then you make a decision very clearly on what you need to shift.
Well, for myself, since I am an emotional person, humans, we are emotional beings. I need numbers. Numbers are facts. Um, and that is one thing that hairstylists don't do. We don't look at numbers and we don't do math. That is your quote, Patricia. Hairstylists don't do math. So when I am making a strategic decision about my business, so for myself, okay, we're gonna use my booking system as an example. And this really doesn't have to do with numbers, but I was obsessed with finding the most perfect booking system for my business. I think I spent months researching all the booking systems, hours on the phone talking and like answering or asking so many questions to these account sales reps, like days of questions where these people were like, okay, are you going to pull the trigger or what's happening? I've switched booking systems. How many booking systems have I switched? I've switched booking systems, been in the process of booking systems and found something out and been like, I hate it. I'm not doing it. Cancel. I was with the system, 24 hours, went back to my old system. I was with the system for 48 hours. It was terrible. Went back to my old system. Then I ventured out to that one system that I didn't realize was terrible for at least 6 months and took me 2 months to go back to my old system. And my employees were like, their heads were spinning. They're like, Sheli, what the heck? And I was like, you know what? Listen, I am going to test everything. This is the way I am. We are going to test everything until we find what works best for ourselves, our business, and our clients. And I landed where I landed, and it is what's best for me, my clients, and my employees for now until I get a bug and I go test new systems. But right now I've tested every system. There's no other system on the market that is giving me what I need at the price point that I want.
Yeah, I think that's just one thing, it's
One
just
thing.
one little fraction of the business.
So one thing that I like to do with running numbers for the salon is looking to see what services our market is booking with us. So we have services that we have let go of. One of those services is blowouts. I think we have done maybe 6 blowouts or 7 blowouts in the past 6 months. And blowouts are a service that we see a lot that clients really love and enjoy getting, but we don't bring blowouts into the salon. So therefore, I'm going to let blowouts go. They're not on the menu anymore. We've had to let them go.
And I think that's one thing that's so important is looking at where your clients are coming from, looking at the services that your clients are actually enjoying. That way, you know what to market. That way, you know, like what your business is known for. That is going to tell you what your target market is. All of those things are just pieces of information that you can utilize to make your business stronger.
When you look at your numbers too, and the amount of services that you're performing and what clients are booking inside the salon, you might have an idea of what kind of business you would like to have in the salon, but your numbers are going to show you exactly what's coming into the salon. So by far, my number one service in the salon is a touch up and a haircut. That is by far the most selling service by thousands of dollars and hundreds of clients that comes into my business every year, which I was surprised when I saw that. I thought maybe it would be extensions or blonding services, and it is not. It is a touch up and a haircut. So I know the exact age demographic of the clients that are coming in to receive those services.
And I think too, with your brand and being an organic and non-toxic salon, I feel like women in that age group and for that service, like they are conscious about that, right? They're coming in, they're getting exposed to chemicals on a regular basis. So things like that are important to them. That's just what I think. I don't know what you think about that, but use organic color and low toxic things. And I feel like women
all the
need,
touch-ups.
Yeah, we need
Women
touch-up,
need their
right?
gray hair colors. Ain't nobody want gray hair.
Nobody wants gray hair.
Mm-mm.
Okay, so I think the next thing that is important to really focus on is don't waste your energy on things that you can't control. There are so many things that are outside of our control in our business. Stylists leaving, things happening, sometimes clients being unhappy. You're going through something, and I'm not going to share, but you're going through a very, very difficult, stressful thing right now that is essentially out of your control. And you and I have had many conversations about this. And I just think that you are calm and you are just like so focused and you're not wasting energy on this thing that's happening. And I've even said myself, I was like, Sheli, if I was going through what you were going through, I literally would be dying and losing my mind right now. And I think this is something that you can really talk on is not wasting your energy on something that you can't control.
So with situations that come up out of your control, like you said, I always look for the lesson. And that's what I was asking myself in the situation that has arisen for me. What is meant for me to learn? Where is the lesson? What am I meant to learn? And I would just ask myself that, what am I meant to learn from the situation until I found my lesson? And once I found my lesson, I let it go. I gave it back to the universe and I said, thank you. Thank you for giving me this experience. And I am better for it. And that's what I got to do. You just got to like let that shit go and give it back to the universe. And it's easier said than done. And it's taken practice and it starts with the small things, right? So when the big things come, you're ready for them. So maybe when Starbucks gives you the wrong coffee order, you don't go back and raise hell and you're ready to like throw your hot coffee cup at the barista. You just either drink it. Maybe it's a new experience for you that you didn't know you needed that day, or you just go back through the drive-thru and say, hey, I got the wrong order. If I can get the right one, that would be wonderful. Thank you. But you don't have to like go raise hell. So little things can get you ready for bigger things in so many ways. And for me, this was one of them. Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally makes sense. So that
Okay.
goes right into my next point, and that is not being afraid to speak up and holding your team accountable. I think so many salon owners struggle with this because they don't want to be the bad guy. They're afraid that their team is going to leave. They want to make sure that their stylists are happy, or they don't want to micromanage. But there is a huge difference between micromanaging and accountability. And accountability is not punishment. Accountability is just holding your team to your standards and to your brand values, right? So when we talk about accountability, this is something that people think that their team will not like them or like them less, when in reality, this is the one thing that will attract an A++ team. And it will also make your team respect you more, and it gets you the results that you want. Because when your team knows that they're going to be held accountable for everything that they do in your business, they hold themselves to a higher standard, because if they love where they work, they want to stay working there. And when we can hold them accountable in a way that is with empathy and with respect, it allows them to look at us as a true leader. I always say this, that your top stylists who are generating and have an amazing business and generating a lot of revenue, they will not work for a salon owner who does not hold the team accountable, because they have high standards for their business and they have high standards for the client experience, and everyone's actions affect their experience. So how do you hold yourself accountable, and how do you speak up in a way that is emotionally intelligent and empathetic, and in a way that really makes sure that you aren't punishing, that you are just being a leader?
For my team, it's defining what my expectations are. So each one of my team members knows what the expectation inside my business is. Then we go deeper into those expectations in our you and me's. I allow my team to set their own goals, and then I hold them accountable to the daily action steps that they take to achieve those goals.
And last but not least, as a strong business owner, we know how to calculate our risks and take risks. We
That's
take
a
a
good
lot of
one.
risks in our business.
We do. We do. We take a lot of risks.
This goes into capacity growth and vessel growth as well.
Yes.
What are some ways that you calculate risk in your business?
So for myself, I shoot my shot. I just shoot my shot because I know that pretty much nothing is permanent. So I know that if I were to go and make a decision about my business, like switching booking systems, and it was fucking terrible, that I can switch back. If I hire someone and it doesn't work out, I know that they signed a 90-day probationary period and I got my out, and they have their out as well. So nothing in business really is permanent. Even signing a lease, you have an end date of your lease, and you know that if your landlord sucks and the space is disgusting, that you can leave within, a certain date range, and you can make plans for your escape. So for myself, I say shoot the shot, and if it doesn't work out, nothing's permanent, then you pivot and move forward.
Perfect. I love that. Sheli, do you
Yeah.
have any more insight on how people can start to be more mentally strong inside of their business to create results that can make a major impact?
Well, to gain mental strength and clarity, you need to start small. Small things lead to big things. Small changes lead to big changes. So it doesn't have to be something huge to see a large impact.
Where can people find you and get in touch with you?
People can find me on the gram. The best place to find me is Instagram at Sheli, spelled Sheli, Dodaro, Dod, period, Hernandez. You can find me, you can email me at thecleanbeautyboutique@gmail.com. And you can find me on Patricia's Instagram because she tags me all the time and she always is making fun of me.
We make fun of each other because we're best friends.
Because we're best friends. Yes.
I love it.